Friends and family desperate to find a missing man tonight. Marcus Freeberger hasn't been seen in nearly a month.
He's a popular yoga instructor at the Melrose District, and Fox 10's Brian Webb is live tonight with the latest on this. Brian.
Well, Marcus has been teaching yoga in the Melrose area for a couple of months now and getting pretty popular too, racking up clients and friends. And they have no idea where he is tonight.
The missing persons flyer spells it out. Marcus Freeberger missing from the Biltmore area for nearly a month, and friends and family are worried sick.
He just attracts people because his personality is outgoing and helpful, and it's just strange how he fell off the map. And I'm beginning to believe there's some foul play involved.
Marcus's dad, Dutch, admits his son has had issues from money to drugs and was in between apartments in mid-February when he went missing, but says Marcus would never abandon his beloved dog, Thomas, left alone for several days.
He's had a history of drugs, and he's been in and out of rehabs a few times. And he's never disappeared this long.
According to Marcus's father, this was the last known place he was supposed to be, a parking garage near 2nd Avenue and Van Buren. He apparently drove here for a blind date right about February 21st. Whether he actually met anyone here or not remains a mystery, but no one has heard or seen from Marcus since.
Marcus was becoming a go-to yoga teacher at Melrose Yoga with the skills and smile to match, according to owner Forrest Kruger, who gave him a chance a few months back and was very impressed.
Kind of guy. All of his friends were coming in here for his classes. I met lots of them. Yeah, nothing but positive things to say about Marcus. He was a great guy. He's a great yoga teacher, too.
And that's another reason none of this makes sense. A young man back on the right track, his whole future ahead of him, and then suddenly he's gone.
Where is he? What's happened to him? He was making progress and doing all these great things and getting ahead in life, which was making him happy.
Marcus's father did file a police report earlier this month and is hoping police might be able to crack open his cell phone, or that someone might see his truck, a white GMC pickup with Arizona plates. If you can help, call Phoenix Police. Live in Phoenix, Brian Webb, Fox 10 News.
New tonight, we're learning more about the case of Emily Pike, a 14-year-old girl who was murdered after going missing last month.
Authorities are still searching for the suspect who dismembered the Apache teen who was living in a Mesa group home at the time. Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum has been looking into this case. New details coming out from her missing persons report.
We've obtained a 12-page police report from Mesa PD. This missing persons case is closed now due to the ongoing homicide investigation. But we do get a glimpse into Emily's past and the timeline leading up to the tragic discovery of her remains. On January 27th, near Mesa Drive and McKellips Road, a group home manager reported 14-year-old Emily Pike missing to Mesa police. According to the report, she said Emily snuck out of her bedroom window and that this wasn't the first time she ran away. The manager said the last time Emily left the house, she was found near Fitch Park. Staff checked the Rock Teen Center a couple days later, where Emily had visited before, but no one had seen or heard from her. By February 19th, a Mesa officer says he spoke to an agent with the Bureau of Indian Affairs who believed Emily had been located within the Gila County Indian Reservation after human remains had been discovered on Valentine's Day just off Highway 60 North at milepost 277. This area is around 100 miles away from where the San Carlos Apache teen was last seen alive. 2 weeks later, she was positively identified and a murder investigation ensued. Tribal communities and family have since united in their grief, calling for justice.
Emily was a spark, and she definitely sparked the entire world, and now the world is on fire because of Emily.
Mesa PD's missing persons report on Emily also reveals the teen's history of behavioral and mental health concerns. Emily took medication for those issues and had a case manager from the San Carlos Apache tribe. Just days before her remains were found, an anonymous tip based on a Facebook post said Emily was with her mother on the reservation. That later proved to be untrue, as her mom said she had not heard from Emily, according to police. GCSO is leading the investigation and has created a task force that includes the FBI to help find Emily's killer. If you have any information on the case, we have the link to the tip line on fox10phoenix.com. I'm Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum.
That's where we begin. A murder suspect makes his first court appearance today, accused of killing his brother.
The shooting happened this week in Phoenix near 44th Street and Camelback. Fox 10's Kinsey Beach is live from the county jail where the suspect is being held tonight. Kinsey.
Yeah, Brian, Ashley, Christopher Eves was very vocal in court this afternoon in this building here behind me, even arguing with the judge at one point. Christopher Eves was ordered a no contact by the judge with the victim's family, a complicated situation as the two were brothers.
It's the state's belief that the defendant poses a risk to the community, as well as family in this case.
49-year-old Christopher Arthur Eves is charged with the first-degree murder of his older brother, a prominent Phoenix attorney, James Artie Eves. Gunshots captured on the next-door neighbor's Nest cameras erupted through this Arcadia neighborhood. That's where police found 51-year-old Artie Eves shot to death outside of his home. Artie, a former prosecutor for the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. Most recently, he worked at Sanders and Parks Attorneys at Law. His photo still appearing on the firm's website.
The defendant went over to the victim's house early yesterday morning and shot the victim, fired multiple shots. He returned to his house where he lived with his parents, and Phoenix police in the car, they found multiple loaded weapons in the defendant's car.
Christopher Eves allegedly returning to the scene of the crime. Fox 10 cameras captured the younger brother being detained by officers and taken into custody. Following the judge's no contact order, Christopher Eves went against the judge in court Saturday, speaking out of turn.
Part of the state.
That is the address on my driver's license, and that is where I've lived for a very long time.
This isn't a debate. Mr. Johnson is speaking. You don't speak at the same time he is speaking. All right?
The judge ordering a $1.5 million cash bond. Now, Christopher Eves has not bonded out at this point, but if he does, he will have to be escorted by a deputy to his parents' home where he will gather his belongings, and then that no contact order will go into effect. No contact with any of his family because it is the victim's family as well. As I mentioned, the two were brothers. Reporting live tonight, Kinsey Beach, Fox 10 News.
All right.
After a pause, Arizona carried out its first execution since 2022.
Aaron Gunches, put to death by lethal injection this morning, sentenced in the 2002 killing of Ted Price. Fox 10's Lauren Clark shares what the victim's family had to say.
For the Price family, after 23 long years, all the court battles and all the waiting is finally over. Although nothing could bring back their beloved brother and father, today his sister said she has a sense of relief.
Today, Arizona resumed the death penalty, and justice for Ted Price and his family was finally served.
On Wednesday, prison officials executed prisoner Aaron Gunches by injecting him with pentobarbital. The 53-year-old inmate's last meal included a double Western cheeseburger with fries, a spicy gyro, a barbecue gyro, onion rings, and baklava. He did not elect to have a spiritual advisor present and had no final words. He was brought into the execution chamber around 10:01. Witnesses say Gunches looked up and never glanced at the observers. After a few deep breaths and a gasp that sounded like a snore, the color drained from his face. His time of death was at 10:33.
Smoothest execution that I've seen.
Gunches was sentenced to death after kidnapping and killing Ted Price, his girlfriend's ex. Price's sister Karen said her brother was killed after discovering his ex was using drugs in front of her kids and threatened to call the cops. He was found shot dead in the desert days later.
Ted was killed for doing the right thing. A senseless crime that robbed the world of a genuinely kind man.
Now with this chapter coming to a close, she's holding on to the final moment she shared with her brother.
It's ironic that he was waving goodbye because that was the last time I saw him alive. It's a memory I will carry with me forever.
Over 100 prisoners in Arizona are still on death row. We have no information over any future executions at this point. Reporting here in Florence, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
Troopers have identified the two people killed in a massive fiery pileup near Williams last week. DPS says Juan Beltran Sanchez and Evelyn Davis were among those killed. The crash happened after several cars were trying to avoid a commercial vehicle that jackknifed. As a result, another commercial vehicle jackknifed, striking other cars and sparking a fire, killing Sanchez and Davis. It involved 13 cars, 5 commercial vehicles, and 5 unattached trailers. The fire burned for more than 12 hours, destroying all the vehicles.
New details just in the past few hours after a wild crime spree unfolded on the freeway and spilled into a Marriott hotel in Tempe.
It started with gunfire on I-10 before police say the suspect tried to take a car at the Marriott Phoenix Resort Tempe at the Buttes there, and that's where we find Kenzie Beach. So Kenzie, this was a big scene that traveled from the 10 to that resort there. Lots of pieces of evidence for investigators to kind of tie this all together.
Yeah, guys, that's exactly right. Tempe police calling this a violent shooting spree today. As you mentioned, that gunman covering a lot of ground. He started on the I-10, quickly made his way through the Angels Spring Training Complex, and ended up here at the Buttes, a popular Marriott hotel and resort in Tempe. 2 Marriott employees were shot at, but both of them are expected to make a full recovery. Guests of the Buttes, a Marriott hotel in Tempe, were met with chaos Tuesday afternoon. This man in town on a business trip watched it all unfold.
I was getting ready to leave my room and I heard a commotion outside of my room and I heard a gunshot. So I took a video of a suspect on the ground and the SWAT team kind of moving in on him. And then all of a sudden chaos ensued, and they're not letting anybody really leave the hotel, but I told them I had to catch a flight.
The hotel was on lockdown for several hours. The shooting spree started with a gunman on the I-10 freeway, jumping over the median and shooting at other drivers.
The person on the freeway, their vehicle was shot. That bullet went through their windshield.
No drivers were hit, but the 34-year-old male suspect didn't stop there, making his way through the Angel Spring Training Complex in several areas of the Marriott Hotel, where he held 2 employees at gunpoint.
He confronted 2 employees in the resort. So while there, he ordered both of these employees to the ground, and then he fired rounds at them.
The employees were both hit with shrapnel before running from the suspect. The gunman then tried to carjack multiple people from the hotel's north lot. Tempe PD took the suspect into custody without incident.
We know that this resort is a resort where a lot of conferences are held. I know there are many people at this resort, so we're very thankful that the suspect didn't confront more people and that more victims weren't shot or injured in this encounter.
Tempe police also noted that the Angels had a road game today, so if that were not the case, there would have been, this place would have been packed with fans and players and could have been a lot worse, as this gunman was on foot for a while, but a lot of those initial calls into law enforcement came from the I-10 freeway, so this gunman was quickly met by Tempe police and DPS here at the hotel. They quickly arrested him and he was taken without incident. He's in custody tonight, but it's still unclear what led to his rampage around 2 o'clock on the I-10. This hotel here behind me, the Marriott Buttes, only open to guests and employees tonight. Reporting live in Tempe, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.
Convicted killer Lori Vallow Daybell is once again asking the courts to toss both of her Arizona cases. She's accused of conspiring to murder her previous husband, Charles Vallow, who was killed by her brother at their Chandler home back in 2019. She's also accused of conspiring to kill her niece's ex-husband in Gilbert. In her latest filing, Daybell accuses the state of illegally obtaining text messages between her and her appeals attorney in Idaho. She's also accused Maricopa County Jail staff of illegally opening her mail without her present. Daybell is due to stand trial for her first case next month. Jury questionnaires will begin going out next week. And when the trial does get underway, Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum will be providing live analysis of the trial each day. You can find that on our Fox 10 YouTube channel.
The crowd here very excited as Dragon Freedom continues to make its way back to planet Earth.
Next up, we'll stand by for the main deployment of the parachutes. The mains are quite a bit larger. You'll be able to notice the difference on your screen once they deploy, and they continue to ensure that the Dragon spacecraft slows down even further. As we mentioned, Freedom will be traveling 16 miles per hour when it splashes down off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida, here at 2:57 p.m. Pacific time this afternoon. And there we go.
We have visual on 4 healthy mains.
That view was from inside.
Freedom copy.
That view was from inside one of the buckets where the parachutes are located. So we see a great view there of the reefing on those parachutes. And as those main parachutes begin to inflate fully, 4 beautiful, healthy mains. Now awaiting visuals of splashdown.
Freedom.
We'll start to hear Commander Nick Hague.
Copy, 1000.
As we heard right there, Commander Nick Hague will be calling out the altitude of the Dragon capsule from here on out. Landing in water is simpler and provides more margin against unlikely parachute issues. You can see those parachutes continuing to slow the Dragon capsule down.
And if you're just joining us, you're looking at
800 meters.
A live view of Crew 9. Just minutes away from splashing down off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. Splashdown 2 minutes from now at 2:57 p.m. Pacific. We do have 4 healthy mains really doing the job there. Just breathtaking views of a calm, glass-like ocean off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. Crew 9 just minutes away from splashing down.
This is really such an incredible shot.
Copy, 600.
That was a live view from our recovery vessel, Megan, which is stationed a couple miles away from the splashdown site. We can see the crew there using their restraints as resting places for their arms. They were just in space moments ago, so their arms were able to float freely.
400 meters.
This is a gorgeous bluebird day here that we have for the splashdown of Crew 9. It's incredible to think that the Dragon capsule just minutes ago was going over 17,000 miles per hour and now gently coasting to a soft splashdown.
200.
Copy, 200 meters. Brace for splashdown.
As you can see there on your screen, continuing to monitor progress of the Dragon spacecraft. And we're going to stand by for splashdown located in the Gulf of America off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida.
And splashdown. Crew 9 back on Earth.
And SpaceX Freedom, splashdown. Good main release.
Copy, splashdown. We see main chutes cut. Nick, Alex, Butch, Sunny, on behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
It is an amazing, what a ride. I see a capsule full of grins ear to ear.
And as you can see on your screen, we have visual confirmation of splashdown. Dragon Freedom has returned home, and NASA astronauts.
System safety verifications are in progress. We'll report back when recovery personnel are en route.
Understand. And, we're in section 2, 4.800 landing response. And looking for your words on this is necessary.
In the distance, we can see the recovery vessel making its way.
Copy, you're in section 2 for the environmental assessment in 4.800. That is not necessary today.
Understand. Raising 5.
So we will continue to have communications between the Corps and Nick Hague, the commander of Crew Dragon Freedom, which just splashed down 2 minutes ago off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. Dragon Freedom has returned home with NASA astronauts Nick Hague, Sonny Williams, Butch Wilmore, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gorbunoff. They're back on Earth after approximately 17 hours of a return journey from space.
The SpaceX recovery ship and team have been waiting for Dragon's splashdown, and they will now make their way to the splashdown location. The teams have been ready and waiting about 3 nautical miles away, so it's going to take them about 30 minutes or so to make their way to
SpaceX Freedom. Pretty sure we're in stable 1.
Copy, stable 1. We see the same.
It's going to take about 30 minutes for the recovery team to make their way over to Nick, Sonny, Butch, and Alexander, who are still seated and secured inside that Dragon spacecraft there on your screen. Incredible views there of that thermal protection system, or TPS. That Dragon capsule was pristine, white color before it departed the station, and we can see how the reentry phase, the thermal protection system did its job. Now, if you're wondering what that hole, that like bucket area is, that is underneath the side hatch. That is where the main parachutes were stored. So when we saw the Dragon capsule docked at station, it looked very different. The panel that protects and covers the main parachutes, that was still intact, as well as the panels that enclose where the drogue parachutes are located. We can see those fast
Freedom.
boats.
SpaceX is go for recovery personnel to approach. Expect personnel alongside in the next few minutes.
Freedom copies.
We can see those fast boats. We weren't kidding when we said they were fast. While it does take about 30 minutes for the main recovery vessel to make its way over to the capsule, these fast boats will be doing a couple of things simultaneously. A couple of them are going to be working to retrieve the parachutes that you see in the background there of this drone shot. Those parachutes will be retrieved from the ocean surface. We want to make sure we are able to pull those out. The recovery vessel there closest to the spacecraft is going to be performing some safety checks. We can see there they're using an instrument that is basically working to detect if there are any hypergolic vapors or fumes that are still residing in and or around the Draco thruster nozzles or outlets. The hypergolic fuel, which is necessary for on-orbit burns to maneuver the spacecraft. Unfortunately, those hypergolics are unable to be breathed. They are toxic, and so this team here is doing those initial safety checks to make sure that it is safe for the rest of the recovery team to approach the spacecraft. They're also checking to make sure that any residuals from the pyros are safe and are not going to cause any issues. We can see the team working their way around the spacecraft to do these these sniff tests on all of those Draco thrusters.
And as we continue to await the recovery of our Dragon spacecraft with NASA astronauts Nick Hague, Sonny Williams, Butch Wilmore, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gorbunoff inside, Dragon has autonomously completed several steps to safe itself following splashdown. We are continuing to see Dragon in what is known as stable 1 configuration. That's kind of the ideal configuration following splashdown. It's upright, and the Dragon capsule is in the right configuration for it to be hoisted into the recovery vessel Megan, which you do see a little ways off in your screen approaching. Dragon will continue to remain live on air with you through that recovery process, all the way through the point where the crew is extracted from the Dragon spacecraft. Now, if you are just joining us, the mission has gone smoothly so far. Dragon successfully splashed down off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida at 2:57 p.m. Pacific, 5:57 p.m. Eastern Time this afternoon.
Approximately 17 hours prior to splashdown, Dragon autonomously undocked from the International Space Station, completed a series of departure burns, jettisoned its trunk section, and performed its final burn, the deorbit burn. This placed the Dragon spacecraft on a trajectory toward Tallahassee, Florida. Dragon successfully re-entered the Earth's atmosphere, followed by deployment of its parachutes to slow the spacecraft down to a gentle splashdown. We're now going to follow the
Freedom. Hypergol sweeps and unfired ordnance checks are nominal. Rigging is in progress. Approximately 25 minutes until capsule lift. Stand by for PMC with SpaceX flight surgeon.
And so what we did just hear there was communications that those hypergol checks were complete. They didn't find any of that upon those checks, so we'll continue to move through the timeline. Next up is a process called rigging, which you see happening right now on your screen. This is when a SpaceX recovery personnel actually works to climb aboard the capsule and work through procedures ahead of lifting onto the nest of the recovery vessel Megan. We heard it's going to be about 25 minutes or so until that lift actually takes place.
Okay, Freedom, the next call will be from the SpaceX flight surgeon on Dragon to Ground Private.
Understand. Thank you.
callouts there indicating that the crew will have the opportunity to do a quick check-in with the SpaceX flight surgeon. This is standard procedure for every Dragon spacecraft when it returns to Earth. It's just an initial check-in, make sure everybody is doing okay. They will also have another check-in with the flight surgeon once they are on board that recovery vessel that you see there in the background. We can now see that SpaceX recovery team member they're on top of the Dragon spacecraft. They are going to be working to install plugs in the Draco thrusters to ensure that none of those, to ensure that no more hypergolic fumes or vapors come out from the spacecraft. They'll also place harnessing around the spacecraft that are required in order to lift it out of the water. Go ahead, Sandra.
Continuing to get some views of the recovery personnel, both the main recovery vessel Megan, as well as some of those fast boats that we've discussed previously. It looks like just a beautiful day there out off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. Weather was pristine. We were able to get undocked from the International Space Station as expected at 10:05 p.m. Pacific time yesterday evening, and Crew Dragon has since completed steps ahead of its splashdown at 2:57 p.m. Pacific, and we're now stepping through procedures to get Dragon hoisted up onto the Megan recovery vessel and get the crew extracted out of the spacecraft. And you did see some of the parachutes that were near the spacecraft. Upon detection of landing, Dragon automatically releases those main parachutes to prevent wind from pulling the spacecraft. Dragon then automatically safes any pyrotechnics that may still be present on the vehicle and may automatically perform additional minor system reconfigurations. The astronauts will remain seated and in their suits at this point, but the onboard air conditioning keeps things temperature controlled inside the spacecraft so the crew remains comfortable, and the communication systems.
Freedom, SpaceX, ComCheck.
One person is dead, 2 other people are hurt following a rollover crash involving an RV that happened west of the valley. It happened on State Route 85 near Buckeye. DPS says that 3 people were on board the RV when it overturned. One person was taken by helicopter to a Phoenix hospital where they died. The 2 other people involved in that crash were also taken to the hospital with serious injuries. It's unknown what led to that crash.
First at 5 tonight, Arizona Democrat Senators Mark Kelly and Ruben Gallego held a town hall today.
They were warning citizens of what they think will be impending cuts to Medicaid. Now, the Republicans have a different version of this. They say they're trying to save these programs by cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. Fox 10's Lauren Clark was there. She joins us now with reaction from both sides.
Hey, good afternoon there, guys. Well, Democrat lawmakers are concerned with cuts to Medicaid. Now, these are not certain, but they believe it's a very real possibility. Now, Medicaid in Arizona, known as Access, serves nearly 2 million Arizonans in low-income situations.
Would you mind telling your colleagues in Washington that when they're burning down this house, there's people still inside? My kid is inside.
Motions ran high at a town hall Senators Mark Kelly and Ruben Gallego hosted Monday. The 2 Arizona Democrats warning about what they call impending cuts to Medicaid. The senators pointing to a budget plan adopted by House Republicans last month. It calls on the Energy and Commerce Committee to cut at least $880 billion in mandatory spending cuts over the next 10 years.
In that one committee, they basically control 2 big chunks of money, Medicare and Medicaid. Now, I don't think they're dumb enough to go after Medicare, but I do think they're dumb enough to go after Medicaid.
The 2 claim this would hurt those on the cusp of poverty the most, but also have rippling effects.
Our hospitals are going to have to cut staff, and that staff affects the people that aren't on Medicaid or aren't on Medicare. It has an impact on everybody.
Fox 10 reached out to several Arizona Republicans in the State House and Congress. All were either unavailable or they did not respond back. However, for weeks, Republican lawmakers have insisted DOGE and government-cutting measures are essential for eliminating fraud and waste. Speaking to reporters, Elon Musk emphasized these moves may be necessary for these programs.
Only by tackling the waste and fraud in entitlements like Social Security, Medicare, can we actually preserve those programs for the future.
A stance.
But what they're doing is just absolutely arbitrary.
Senator Gallego strongly disputes.
They wanted to do something, we could do it together. We could do it in a manner that is respectful also of these employees, 1/3 of them being veterans, and at the same time find real cuts and real waste, and actually at the same time protecting services too.
And we've also seen national Republican leaders like Mike Johnson point out that there is known fraud in the Medicaid system. We've not heard back yet from our Arizona Republican leaders, but we will be sure to update our website with their response if we get them. Reporting live here in Phoenix, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.